Favourite place of mine was the race course because they used to have boxes full of straw. So I used to go and sleep in the straw.
A really tough start to life, and to see him have the success that he has had in the racing game, for me as a Māori and in what I do as a commentator as well, it's a privilege to be part of it.
My God, you know, just to see him start a horse in the Melbourne Cup.
Me and Bill have kind of had a similar upbringing, and that's why we're pretty close as well, and we get along good, coming from the same area and growing up learning the same ropes as what me and him did.
Koinei pia te tino o ngā whakataitai te ao Hōiho, ka mutu, he nui ngā hua. I tēnei wiki kei Rotorua tātou ki te tūtaki atu ki tētahi o ngā kaiahu Hōiho reihi Māori taia o Aotearoa, e kawe ana i ana Hōiho ki ngā taumata tike tike.
I'm here with Bill Pomare. Bill is the breeder, owner, trainer of Ocean Billy, winner of the 2021 Auckland Cup and Melbourne Cup contender. Bill is the only Māori to have achieved this.
For a person like me, who is an individual who just got into the game and self-taught, you know, and to win an Auckland Cup, so only 120 people in the history of New Zealand has won that race, and I happen to be one of those.
Watching Ocean Billy win the Auckland Cup was, it was real breathtaking. It was amazing, especially when you know the horse and how he is and how he tries his hardest out, and I'm sure he could hear us yelling, and he even dug deeper for us just to say, "Hey Mum, I've done it." Yeah.
I had the greatest privilege when I was calling his horse Ocean Billy home in the Auckland Cup. That was just a great thrill, and he wasn't expected to win, although Billy would tell you that he was the biggest certainty on a racetrack that day, Ocean Billy, but he did the team proud that day, and of course they went to the Melbourne Cup.
He rā whakahirahira tēnei mo Bill rawa ko Suzie me o rawa Hōiho i te mea koinei te rao te reihi.
Morena Billy, morena Suzie. Morena.
Nice to meet you.
Big day today, isn't it?
Yes, big day again today at the races here at Rotorua.
Always a big day, especially with 3 horses in, and because they're racing on their home course and they haven't done anything this morning, we need to take them down and take a little bit of the fizz out of the fiery ones.
Yeah. And what's significant about today?
Oh, home track, home meeting, you know, it's always a lot more exciting, and we only have 4 horses in work, so most of our team are going to be there today. So I look forward to hopefully a little bit of success.
And who are we going to see out there on the track?
Okay, we've got Call Me Evie, Archer's Rose, and we have a 2-year-old filly by Swayness.
And we've also got Flask.
Oh, Fast Flying Billy, who's racing today, but she won't do any work this morning.
He tīma o taia a Bill rātou ko Suzie ko Laura, he whānau tonu.
Did you all meet Laura? It's Laura. She's my son's partner.
So we're here early this morning. Why have we brought the horses out today?
Well, Lizzie, Call Me Evie, she's full of herself and she's quite freshness. Now, if I don't give her a little run this morning to take a little bit of the fizz out of her, she'll be quite hard to handle. By the time she gets in the birdcage the last race, she's going to be really full of herself. So she'll go out and just have a sprint up. Just Rose will too, but the little baby will too, and she'll have a little run up the straight too. All my horses, and you'll notice them when they work, are all working. You've got to hold them. You don't have to throw the reins at them. They all want to do it. They all want to go forward. I'm a person that don't like to make horses do something they don't want to do.
So is this the one to watch?
I think so. I think this horse has got something pretty special about it. She's only 2, but from day one, I must say that she's been so easy to teach. There's so much to see out there with the rail and everything, where if they're with another horse, they're concentrating on that other horse and they're competing with the other horse. She didn't have any of that, and yet she ran a dead straight line and she really put her feet down. That's why we got to do it right on race day, so that we don't allow them to get themselves all hyped up before the race. Call me Evie or eat up her breakfast and she'll settle because she's had some work. And then we'll leave them there at the track. We're not going to bring them home, so they'll stay there in boxes all day.
Okay, Lizzie, we're going to take them up to the yard now, give them a couple of hours on the grass.
Hara tēnei mahi e te mahi kauparawa. You know, e nei Hōiho, ka mōhio rātou kiwa rātou mahi. My horses are different at home. You know, they're quite mopey around, quite lazy. These ones, ka mōhio rātou kiwa rātou mahi. So Miss Maisie over here was leading me here. I wasn't. I was just getting towed along. Not on purpose, but, you know, I'm just a bit slow with my horses. I'm quite complacent. Where these ones, ahua frisky nei rātou ahua. They're ready for today, I think. Can't wait to watch them out there on the track.
I tōna tikanga ka whakatā tō mātou tīma I mua I te reihi. Engari, me pēhea e kore ai e puta ki te haki nohi. He aha o whakaro Evie, ki o whakaro kua kēhike. He rangi mokopuna a tai mai ana ngā Hōiho ka whakarite mātou ki te eke. Ka whakarite a ngā Hōiho kua haere ki te tūtaki ki a Wirimu Pin, tētahi o ngā kaiake Hōiho mā Bill rawa ko Suzie.
Kia ora, Wirimu.
Kia ora.
So, what's it like being a jockey?
Oh, just like any other job. Some days are good, some days are bad, but it's pretty enjoyable. Get to ride these big, beautiful animals and get a good bunch of adrenaline out of it, and it's good money as well, so can't really complain. I'm on one for Bill Pomare in race 5. That's my first ride today, so he looks like a good chance, so hopefully we can run in the first 3 or even win it.
Is it like riding normal horses?
I didn't really do much horse work before I come into the industry, so I've just jumped straight on race horse. So this is normal for me. I don't know what it's like riding ponies and that, but it's a good adrenaline rush and good thrill when you win.
So how long have you been riding for?
I'm on my 2nd year of my apprenticeship, but I've probably been riding for 4 years.
And who are you training under?
So I work for Daniel Miller and Mason Stevens in Matamata. My riding master, my mentor is Noel Harris. He helps me out quite a bit too.
What's it like working for Billy and Suzie?
Nah, they're cool. Bill and Suzie are pretty cruisy. Not many instructions or anything, just here for a good day out.
Yeah.
Hopefully a result as well.
What's it like being Māori in this sport?
Yeah, it's good. I'm proud to be a Māori. There's not many of us in the sport, so it'd be good to get a few more in, but it's pretty hard for these Maoris eating pork bones and boil up, so get too big, so I'm pretty lucky.
Yeah.
It depends what weight you're riding, so some horses get top weight and other horses get lighter weights. It depends on how good the horse is, so I can ride at very light weights.
And how do you keep the weight off?
Oh, I'm pretty lucky. I eat what I like, but yeah, that's not a question you should be asking me.
And a very good ride by young Wirimu, because after missing and not being able to get out wide where he wanted to be, he found a way up the rail and come home strongly. So we're happy, bring on the next 2 races. Hope there's an improvement from that.
If Billy asked me to ride one of his horses, I'd be on there straight away, even in this dress. I'd just get straight on and go for a big old hoon, even if I don't look like I know what I'm doing. I'd still give it a whirl.
Kei te papareihi o te arawa māua ko Bill Pomare, kei konei hoki taku parata a te wehi he rawe ki aia te piti piti poni poni.
He wāhi mō ngā Māori ki roto i tēnei momo hākinakina?
Ai, nui te wāhi mo te Māori nui tā Māori ke Hōiho ana.
Ai,
Ara wire mu.
Ai.
Ai sano hoki no rua toki ara i tutatana ihu i roto i ngā reihi tatake nei. Engari nui ngā āputa e uru mai ai te iwi Māori, engari ko te mate kea ia. He nui te utu ki te heri mai ngā Hōiho mai motu tiki motu tā. Kura pia kāre te Māori e hi ana te uru mai ki tēnei o ngā hākinakina engari. Ai, pai tēnei hākinakina hei whakaarohanga mā tātou mo ngā uri whakahekepe.
Tai hoa ke tūtaki atu ai au ki te tioke rangatira nei kia Noel Harris.
Kia ora, Noel. Tell us what it's like to be in the racing industry.
Yeah, it's not for the faint-hearted, but it's exciting a game. I had 45 years as a jockey, and the last 7 years I've worked with NZTR now to mentor the young apprentices. So
Yeah, have you got any apprentices with you now?
today at the races, there's probably about half a dozen riding today. And my main thing I stress to the apprentices is it's all about rhythm and balance, and it'll go a long way, you know. Got Wiramu, he's one of our leading apprentices. Wiramu's very exciting sort of a jockey. He's got that X factor, I feel, and it's just nurturing, bring the best out of them.
Yeah.
I think it's a 4-year apprenticeship. You're successful, you can come out with a house, you can come out with a car, and then once that 4 years is up, you're your own boss then. In the meantime, just keep your mouth shut and listen. You'll go a long way.
E ai kia Bill, mo te eke ki ngā taumata tike tike, kāre I tū atu I a Noel Harris.
This photo here of Bo Casual is a very special photo, this one, because this gave Noel Harris his 2000s winner.
The 2000s winner has to come back as one of my memorable times, and to get that for Billy at Te Rāpō and to get it on Billy's horse, yeah, it was a dream come true.
And I kept telling him over time that I'm going to give him his 2000th winner. And he was sitting on 1999, he needed one more.
First thing Billy says, I hope it's 2000s today and on my horse, and it was a perfect script. You know?
And that's such a hard achievement for a jockey to ride 2000 winners. You know, you imagine the jockey, say, if he rode 100 races a year, how long it's going to take to win 2000, you know?
Always remember, Billy made a special trip back to Rotorua to get a 70-year-old bowl of whiskey to come to Matamata and celebrate, and it would never leave my life.
E mōhio ai koe ki te angitu o Billy me mōhio hoki ki tōna hitori. Me he kiriata te nui. Mai I te pōrawa kore nei ki raro piriti ki te pāngia ona I te mate pukupuku rā hoki.
Okay, I was born at Te Kopuru in the Kaipara Harbour, and then we were handed over to our grandmother. I was on a horse's back at 18 months old, Jim and I. It was something that they got us to do because they didn't want to carry us. The distance that they had to travel was too great. But unfortunately, my grandmother passed, which made it very tough for Pop to continue raising us. Mum had 14 sisters, and one of the sisters had decided that they would take us and raise us. She had a very cruel husband. He was a very, very mean and evil man. And so I had to put up with a lot of beatings all the time. We were very, very poor. I never had a pair of shoes till I was 10 and a half, nearly 11. First time I put feet in shoes. But the day I turned 15, Jim and I turned 15, my uncle said, "Here's the gate, off you go."
He kōrero tā George Simon, te reo o ngā reihi.
And the Māori trainers, I suppose Billy's right up there when it comes to training racehorses with this breed of horses that he's had over many, many years. It's a feather in his cap, and he comes from pretty humble beginnings, and he had a really tough start to life, and to see him have the success that he has had in the racing game, for me as a Māori and in what I do as a commentator as well, it's a privilege to be part of it.
Favourite place of mine was the race course, because they used to have boxes full of straw. So I used to go and sleep in the straw, and it was always, you know, reasonably warm. Even though I was earning wages, it wasn't enough to pay for rental and for food. So I found it easier to make myself a bed under a bridge in the fern and set my gear up here. Back in those days, they had coffee shops. Instead of people going to bars, they would go to a coffee shop and have a coffee. And so what I did is I would go and see this guy and I say, look, can I come and wash all the dishes and that for some food? It was hard, but I took it on as a challenge. I never let it get me down. I never ever got depressed or got down about it.
I aua wā o te kore ko Bill hei pāpā ki te māpū manguru.
2 Irish, with Islanders, with Maoris, with a French guy, so there was a mixture. They were the ones that the judge called mongrels. So we just started calling ourselves that and thought, oh, what a name, this name will suit us. You can't even compare today.
After leaving the mob, Bill's hard work, tenacity and a little bit of lady luck saw him on a better path.
I just happened to have met a lady I thought would help me where I could live a normal life, be successful, and that's exactly how it turned out. I actually ended up going into business, which was very successful, and I never looked back from that day.
Sadly, Bill's wife passed from cancer, and around her passing, Bill was diagnosed with cancer himself.
There are times, when my wife was ill and I knew she was dying. There was times when I wasn't sure whether I'd live or not, that a ride on a horse was the therapy that would help me. I'd get on my horse and I'd just ride off up into the paddocks and take a slow walk, and just reflect, really. The warmth of the horse's heartbeat, the living thing that's carrying you and being kind to you, takes all those thoughts of, adversity that's happening to you away.
Ko ngā Hōiho, te taura here I tūtaki ai a Bill ki tōna hoaranga tira Suzie.
Billy asked me to come and work for him, yes, yeah, because when I first met him, he says, what do you do? I says, I don't do much, but I love riding horses. And he was like, oh, would you like to come and ride my horses? It's like, sure, why not? Yeah, so started off really riding the racehorses then.
I don't like to admit it all the time but most people know that Suzie knows so much about horses.
This is top line. Yes, lollies to them.
It's been a big asset for me, and I take all the congratulations because there's not much you don't know about horses. I just put that finishing touch of the fitness into them, but as far as why these horses are like this with us on our farm here is her. She treats them like her babies, every one of them. And so she just, they're calm. When they're a different horse here to what you see when they get down to their race course.
Back at the track, Call Me Evie comes out the gate flying.
Oh no, she's drifted.
For home of the 250 if she can make
Third
a
to last.
lead again. Jimmy Kirk, Call Me Evie still there as well as if she can. As they go towards the line, it'll be a photo.
I rawe a Call Me Evie. He oi anō rā, he rā no a pōpō. Koinei te ao te reihi.
Call Me Evie just peaked on his run at the last 100 metres.
As long as they all come home after the races with 4 legs and I can put their clothes on and give them their dinner, I'm happy and they're happy.
A ko ake nei, he reina, kei aku ringa.
Yeah, I think I could be a jockey. Wiremu said he's quite lucky because he has the right body shape and he can eat whatever he likes. And I've got that same build, must be the Māori in us. Wairua ana rei te mataku nei e.
E kore tae e tētahi te whakahē ko Ocean Billy te Hōiho angitu rawa atu nei o Bill Pomare.
Ocean Billy and Bill Pomare win the cup. Bill Pomare takes the Sky City Hamilton Waikato Cup with Ocean Billy.
This is our racing room where photos of all our winners are situated. Amongst them, my original horses that started this off. We've got the likes of Flying Chief here, that won 13 races. He was a very tough individual that injured me on several occasions. And believe it or not, he's 29 years old and he's still on the farm. So he was one of the originals, and his mother was the horse that started everything off for me. I went to a sale, wasn't meant to buy a horse. I ended up buying her, brought her home, had to explain to my wife why I'd gone and spent $10,000 that we didn't really have. But she was the foundation mare of Flying Bow. The real top horse, Flying Free, which is this one here, she's out of Flying Bow as well. And she's the mother of Cool Storm, and of course, Cool Storm is the mother of Ocean Billy. So that's Ocean Billy's grandmother.
Kua whawhakareanga te roa kia Taia Bill kia Ocean Billy. Engari ka nui tona aroha ki ona Hōiho katoa.
I think I've had something like 83 wins with family, including a Gr.1 win, which is pretty special. I always said that if I had to use money and my family had to go into a bit of hardship because I'd used that money on horses, that I would stop. Fortunately, a good horse kept coming along, so one would turn up and start winning, money and pay the bills. And now they've won 1.6 million in stakes, so they've paid their way.
Yeah.
Kei te pāmu whakamātūtua Ocean Billy, me he pohokere rua Bill I te ekenga ki te Melbourne Cup.
It's probably the greatest staying race in the Southern Hemisphere, probably in the world. So he was number 8 in that race. A horse to win a Group 1 race has to have something absolute unique about them. And to breed something with that uniqueness is not easy to do. It was just like an absolute dream that this happened.
So how was it for you when Ocean Billy went off to compete?
Well, it was quite daunting. At first, I hadn't considered racing in the Melbourne Cup. After I won the Auckland Cup, I wondered whether, like he was only 5, whether it was a year too soon. All his training's been done from the paddock. We don't keep him in the box. He won't eat if he's in the box.
How did that make you feel when you noticed, when you heard he wasn't feeling himself?
That it's like your child going away from you overseas and they start getting homesick and they start missing you. They go off their food. That's what happened with him. He just couldn't handle it. He didn't have enough weight on his body to be able to sustain a 2-mile run there, and so he just didn't compete at all.
Yeah, and what about the feeling of not coming first?
Well, you've got to get over quick. I couldn't dwell on it. He's definitely improved out of sight and he's not far. Probably another 3 months he'll be back in work, so he'll be ready for some of the spring racing.
Nā, ko eke ki te rā o te wero, ka rea o te tino mōhio, hea tā Billy rau ko Suzie I whakarite ai. Te tūmanako ka eke ahau ki te taumata, ka eke panuku, eke ururoa. Hoa ke tātou. Morena, Suzie.
Morena, Lizzie.
How are you?
Katie Pie. Today I've got a little challenge for you.
Okay.
Okay, these are Ocean Billy's colours. I want you to pop them on. And then we're going up to the arena to have a little race, you and I. Okay then, doll, put these on. Come on, let's go.
E hara tēnei te Melbourne Cup, engari e pōhiri ana I te pāhi Wikitoria, nau mai, haere mai.
Beautiful day in Rotorua today for the Hōiho Challenge of the Year. 2 ex-champion horses pitted against each other and 2 of the best female jockeys in New Zealand. We're going to find out after this race who the champion actually is. On Deja, we've got Suzie, and on Tattoo, we've got Lizzie. And they both are in the starting gates and keen to get on with it. Gates open now, and Suzie gets a good break, and she's gone to lead. Tattoo is moving up into second here, but Suzie quite looks strong. There goes Lizzie. She's got her horse into good stride now, and she's going at a good pace. She's a length and a half clear on Suzie as they come around for the last part of the race. 1,000 metres to go. Lizzie's holding a lead. Oh, Suzie went around the back of the starting gates and caused herself a lot of problems. Suzie, get going, get your handbrake off. That horse has got to be drug tested after the race for sure. But Tattoo's full of running. It's all over. 4.5 lengths win to the ex-champion Deja. So how do you feel now that you've lost your championship?
Oh, well, I'm actually happy because Lizzie now has to buy me a beer.
You had the choice of the 2 stable stars and looks like you picked the right horse and got the right result.
I know a winner when I see one.
Oh, well, you certainly do, and it looks like it's worked out very well for you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And on that turn over there where there was a bit of interference, do you feel that you might have contributed a bit to this?
Yes, I feel I contributed a little bit to that, yeah.
Oh, okay, well, that's not going to go too good for you. But Lizzie gets the first prize, which is pie and a Coke, and Suzie just gets the Coke. And that wraps up racing here. Hōiho, Rotorua. Beautiful day, beautiful result. That's a wrap.
Thank you for a beautiful day, Bill and Suzie.
High five, Lily. Well done.
Billy's legacy is the fact that he's been around for such a long time. I think that's always a mark of respect of his success. When people come into this game, some disappear very quickly.
Any trainer in New Zealand or in the world, just to have one runner in the Melbourne Cup and to see Billy get it is just like a dream come true. And I know Billy's and Suzie got it at their heart that they've got there, you know.
What are your last hopes that you hope to achieve?
Win a Gr.1 race in Australia. Yeah, that would really satisfy me, you know.
Ko tā Billy I whakaako mai ai I te ao reihi me te ao tūneke anō hoki, he wā ona ka wikitoria, he wā anō ka hinga. Engari, ko te huarahi te mea nui, ko te haerenga me te eke anō, ko ona iwi kei ona pakihiwi I ngā huarahi katoa, I ngā te mahi he rangatira. Hōiho, riding on, hōiho, whakangetea.
Era kae, e hoka koe, e rohara o parira uerere, tūratia te ao marama, nā hura te marea e wawana. Era kae, whakatome neti a te ao, ina ranga whea ko hei nā, wai kai ka puwa, e puta ki te ao. Ko te reo, te take.